Hello. Oh, that was a bit weak, wasn't it? Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine. I've come on today to show you something that I've been working on for a little wee while. I've taken the plunge and I have entered Practical Publishing's Card Maker of the Year 2021. I don't expect I shall get any recognition. There are hundreds of thousands of brilliant crafters out there, very talented people, and I don't see why I should be noticed. But I've had absolutely great fun working on this entry. It's kept me off the streets, as Mr. Paper&Twine would say. So it says on the entry form to package your entry carefully. So I've gone ahead and I've made a box. This box is 6.5 inches square by 2 inches deep, and I have used my scoreboard on my Ultimate Pro, which gives you the base and the lid, and the beauty of it means that you only need to cut 2 pieces of cardstock exactly the same size. You're not fiddling around with funny measurements, and you butt your card up to the appropriate edge of the scoreboard for the base or the lid. And I've gone ahead and I've done one of my signature backgrounds. This is the beautiful purple colour from Brusho's Crystal Colour. I love how you get real deep bits of purple and almost blue. There's a little bit of blue there and little hints of red coming through. Absolutely love the effects you get with these Brushos. I'm really in love with them at the moment. And then to add a little bit of interest to the background, I've gone in, there's a little stamped image on several portions of the box using seedless preserves, and the stamp is a set that came with issue 3 of Indigo Blue magazine, which I've never bought before and I have to say I've thoroughly enjoyed. Then the other little stamp is from an Allen Create set in weathered wood, just to add a little bit of interest. The hair on the front you've seen me use before. This is on one of my backgrounds in weathered wood and speckled egg. You know, I love this hair. I've used it a lot. The tree is also from the same set, and this little bit of foliage as well. And the foliage is in weathered wood. I've gone ahead and done some little inking with torn paper for hills for the hair to sit on, in seedless preserves and weathered wood. And there's a little bit of glitter, that Lavinia Moon Glow holographic glitter. And I don't know whether the camera's picking up, there's a little bit of silver pen on the edge of the moon just here. And I love how with this background that I like to make, you never know what you're going to get, as you've seen before, but I just love these speckles here. They look like the craters on the moon. So yeah, the box, it's covered inside and out, top and bottom. So what have we got inside? For the competition, you had to make 2 cards and a paper crafting project. So we'll look at the paper crafting project in a minute. We'll look at the cards first. Card 1 is very much my signature style. Just move this box out of the way. And I've made the envelope using paper from my stash, which kind of mimics my splodgy style. And then just on here, I don't know whether you can see, I've used that honeycomb stamp that I like, just to add a little bit of interest to this paper. And the colour is speckled egg, which picks up on the paper in the colour in the paper absolutely perfectly. I've used my envelope punch board to make the envelope. I've gone ahead and made a wiper card. I think you've seen me make a wiper card before, but I've used this beautiful eye from Lavinia and adorned it with some liquid pearls, some iridescent rhinestones, and then on the background, which I think is ultramarine and turquoise, I've just done a little bit of stamping with various little stamps in Blueprint Sketch and Salty Ocean. The stars are from Lavinia and they've been embossed in, heat embossed in silver and an iridescent kind of purpley bluey colour. And then the text is from my French English vintage pocket dictionary. You know how I like to use that. That's been matted onto another layer of my background, which has got a little bit of green in for a pop of colour. I've matted the sides of, oh, you can see the wiper element peeping out there. I've matted the sides. I've gone around the edge in Salty Ocean. So these sides are matted as well, and there's a space on the back to write your message. But let's look at that wiper element. So it kind of tucks in. And again, this is an Al and Create stamp. 2 stamps there. The greeting says, "Watch with glittering eyes." So that is my number 1 card. And those of you that have been with me for a little while will know that that is very much my style. Card number 2 is a bit of a departure from things that I've done in the past. I've used products that came free with this issue of Indigo Blue magazine, issue 3, and I've gone ahead. I had great fun with this card. I've never made this style of card before, but it's on one of my backgrounds, which is scattered straw and pumice stone with a little bit of mango blaze cosmic shimmer pixie powder. And then the front of the card is the same background, but I've gone ahead and out of the freebies that were with the magazine, I've stenciled a little bit of a foliage stencil. I think that's in antique linen. And then there was a big collage stamp, and I've just used portions of it in scattered straw to add a bit of texture to the background. Then I've stamped Choose What Makes Your Heart Bloom. Then these here. When have you ever, in the short time I've been making videos, when have you ever seen me die cut? I think I've done hearts and big shapes, but I've never really done anything fussy. So I've stamped these fern-like leaves on some of my coloured backgrounds and then cut it out, and have to say the die's cut like a dream. I fussy cut this flower that I stamped. I think that's on a Infusions deep red, just for a pop of colour. Then the butterfly, do you remember I was experimenting with alcohol ink on shrink plastic? So I die cut this butterfly, which I believe is a Tim Holtz butterfly. Next time I might stamp the butterfly as well with stays on, and see how we go. But I'm quite pleased with that little butterfly there. To the centre of this flower, I've used the little micro beads, which you know I really like to use. This flower here, which you can see peeking through this window, is on a cosmic shimmer background, various colours mixed together. And then the little dots there, I've used something called gold contour paste, which is designed for stained glass painting, but I just use it for a little bit of texture and dimension. So then you hold the card and you open, and you get this little slider element. So this is called a Peekaboo slider card. So let's look at the inside. I've used stamps that came with the set in the Indigo Blue magazine. This is Versifying Claire, one of the green colours, 1st generation, 2nd generation. Then the flowers have just been stamped in black. Here, I stamped this flower and it didn't stamp properly. The centre was completely white. So I took this smaller flower and stamped it in the middle to make my own flower. Then the centres of these flowers, I've used that gold contour paste, and I've coloured them in with oxide inks and distress inks using a Wink of Stella. I don't know whether you can see that picking up the shimmer there. And then the little slider element part here, I went in with the Harlequin part of the stencil that was free in antique linen. The big collage stamp that I stamped on the front, I've used pumice stone here, and then some little butterfly, or they could be moth, remnant rubs from Tim Holtz. But that's your little slider element. So that was great fun to make. The envelope I made using paper that was free in the magazine, and I like it because it kind of, the colours match. It's got a little bit of butterfly on it, and the splodges kind of reminded me of my backgrounds. So that is card number 2. For my project, my paper crafting project, I wonder if you can guess what's in here. So I've made a little box to keep it safe, and this is a mixture of Mango Blaze Cosmic Shimmer and orange for kind of like a sandy colour. The little picture panel I stamped onto a background that was twisted citron and tumbled glass. And then the seagull and the wooden posts you've seen me use in lots of projects. They're from a Couture Creations stamp set, I believe, that I've had a very long time, but they're a great favourite of mine. Then I've added the gold micro beads to kind of give the illusion of sand. And then I've used this wave stamp, blueprint sketch, first generation, second generation, and then tumbled glass. And I love how here, the little bit of background that I've chosen, by luck rather than judgment, you've got these little tiny speckles which kind of remind me of the water droplets on the sea. And then my little book of the sea, I painstakingly looked for the words and cut them out of my 1950s Enid Blyton book that I like to use a lot. And then a little shell from my collection, probably collected off a beach in Cornwall, glued on the top. Then the box is all covered. Look at that gorgeousness. I just love Brushos. Absolutely love it. Look at the depth of colour in there. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so covered the box, and then what is inside? We have a little mini album. So you saw me make the forest one, the Woodland Friends one for Dawn. I've done a sea themed one, and I'll try and whiz through this quickly because I can already see that I'm at quite a long time in this video, but I know that some of you will be interested to see what I've done. So I've used paper from Graphic 45, the Ocean Blue collection, and I've used a little bit of paper from the Stamperia Arctic Antarctic collection, which broke my heart to cut into, but we need to stop hoarding, don't we? So on the front here is a little octopus, and you can see I've covered the booklet, the little wallet part of the booklet, and I've even used the little bit of title. You know me, I don't like to waste anything. And let's see what's inside. So I used a different paper to cover the inside of the album. I used this rather dark fishy one, which I do like, the little bits of coral. And here we have the little cascading mini album. So all of the backgrounds have been made with Brusho in ultramarine and turquoise. Every little piece has been edged with, rather appropriately, salty ocean for a sea themed book. It's quite a good choice of colour, isn't it? This is Stamperia paper, the whale, and I found whale in the dictionary, and we've got a little tiny journaling card here. You know me and my little teeny tiny things. Little scrap of paper I didn't want to throw away, and then the vintage French linen twine with a little silver bead, and then in here, seize the day. So these are all little journaling cards with the little tabs on, and they've all been backed onto paper that I've inked, or card I should say. This little shell is from the same stamp set as what's on the front of the box, and that's on just a little bit of, I think that's Sunset Beach paper artsy infusions, Sunset Beach, which is quite appropriate. And then this actually is sand from a beach. I've got a bottle of it that my son's girlfriend collected for me. It's quite chunky sand with little bits of broken down shell. So I've actually glued that on there, which I thought was quite good fun. And then in here, we've got, pretty sure my birthstone is a seashell. So on the pocket, I've tried to give a hint as to what's inside. And again, the background, I think that might be Cosmic Shimmer, actually. Teal wash. And then I've done the little grabs with paper and a little circle punch. And then you've got a journaling page, Thoughts That Whisper to My Heart, Tim Holtz clipping. I've numbered the pages. And then little crab out of the paper. You know I don't like to waste any little scraps. I found crab in the dictionary. And then in here we should have a crab, because that's what I've hinted at. We've got the same image, but it's slightly bigger. I won't bother showing you the backs of these because they're all the same. As I say, the every bit of card has been edged with Salty Ocean. Then here we've got a shell. Love those images. And I've found on several occasions that the Graphic 45 papers work really well with the Stamperia papers. This is a little Stamperia image. I'm not sure where this bit came from. Oh yes, it was a tiny strip in the Graphic 45 collection, and I just thought that picked up quite nicely on that. So I've just sort of layered that up. Shell out of the dictionary. Journaling, curious looking. Journaling again, we've got remnant rubs on here. Coral from the Stamperia paper. It does break my heart to use these Stamperia papers, but you know, we need to stop hoarding, don't we? And I've got a little tag in here with the linen twine again. Coral on that, picking up on the coral there. Then on the last page on this side, this paper is from a collection called Sea Breeze by Couture Creations that I've had a very long time, and I've nearly used all of the paper. I'll have to see if I can get another one. Look at the little fishy eye peeking out there. Yeah, and seashells I've cut out of one of the title pages of the Graphic 45. This was a little cutaway. And then we should have something with shells on in here. A starfish shell. And then we fold all of this up and we go back the other way. So from this direction, page 10, we've got shells and a crab, and I've used the French for crab with the English word there. Little bit of glitter on the crab there, just for a little bit of something. And then we've got another crab image there. Let's pop you in. I've done the pockets in a variety of directions so that it's not all samey. Remnant rubs from Tim Holtz again. I love that little ink pen. This is one of my favourite little pages. The fish from Lavinia. Excuse me, and this foliage stamp I've stamped several times. That's also from Lavinia. I love the subtle colours in this where they've mixed, and you've got this kind of greeny colour which is very reminiscent of the sea. And we should have a little fishy in here if the prompt on the picture is anything to go by. Can't get this out. There we go. Look, make waves. And then the next page, page 13. Is just a remnant rub on the bottom there, page for journaling. This seahorse stamp was free with the magazine, and I did tell you in my card making 101 that a good way to build up your stash of stamps is to look for magazines that have got A4 stamp sets, and this was a really nice seaside themed one, and this seahorse mimics really nicely the seahorse on this page here. Oh, I've put a little bit of text there that says, "The voice of the sea speaks to the soul." And then a little bit of coral there. This starfish stamp was also free with the seahorse set. And I've got starfish out of the French English Dictionary. Étoile de mer, isn't that nice? Star of the sea. And I've just used a little bit of the moss green background from another project. Kind of reminded me of sandy colours. And then we've got a little tiny journaling card here. Make a wish on a starfish. This little bit of background. I don't know whether you saw my when I was making the card for my dad's birthday, and I tried to use that big paper artsy stamp and it didn't stamp properly. Well, I salvaged bits of it, and this was a tiny bit of the background. You know me, I don't like to throw any scraps away. So that goes in there. Make a wish on a starfish. A little bit of that vintage French linen twine and a silver bead again. Nearly at the end, if you're still with me. Thank you very much. Got a little tuck spot here. Observations is the remnant rub. And then this is a little picture that was out of the Enid Blyton book. And I've watercoloured it with various distress inks. I have to say the paper was quite yellow, so the colours didn't pick up very well. And then I've just used a white pen to colour the sails white, and then silver micro beads to kind of give the line between the sea and the horizon, and a little bit of gold for the sand. So pop that in its little tuck spot there. And then another Lavinia fish. I do love these fish. There's a little bit of Nouveau drops for the bubbles coming out of the fish's mouth. And then this is a Lavinia stamp as well, a wisp or something that I've used on its side several times. And this should be a fishy stamp in here. Look at him, he's a rather handsome fellow, isn't he? And then Explore Life on the next journal page. And then finally, well done if you're still here, we dream in colours borrowed from the sea. I love that quote. I don't know where I found it, but I do love that quote. And then I've used two different wave stamps here. I've used the one that's on the box in Salty Ocean, and then a different wave stamp. So we've got like the sea here and then the waves curling over. Little bit of Cosmic Shimmer, glitter jewels, and a little bit of glitter there. And then in here, oh, you, me, and the sea. So all that remains for me to do now is package all this up and post it. By the time I post this, the competition will be closed. I'm going to publish this on the 14th of April, which is the closing date for the competition. And as I say, I had great fun. I don't have any expectations at all. It depends what they're looking for, doesn't it? But as I say, I've had great fun. And thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye now.